I've always had a respect for our first responders and law enforcement. It's definitely one segment of the population who chooses on a daily basis to make my safety their first priority. At the end of the day, our first responders are husbands and wives, their sons and daughters, grandparents, they're humans.
You walk into situations that a lot of people aren't put into, during the day. My husband is also a Phoenix firefighter. When we leave our kids in the morning, they expect to see us coming back home the next morning. We have an inherently dangerous job, and sometimes it's pretty stressful to make sure that we're able to go home to our 3 kids.
My name is Thomas Yoxel. On January 12th of this year, I was involved in a critical incident, and in that incident, I discharged my firearm, killing a suspect who was attacking and attempting to kill Arizona State Trooper Edward Anderson.
Yeah, a DPS trooper has been shot on I-10. One of 2 people just rushed to the hospital.
Police say a suspect shot a state trooper who had stopped to investigate a car crash. A man driving by came to the trooper's rescue and ended up killing the suspect.
That's when a suspect ambushed the trooper, shot him once in the shoulder, then physically attacked. The 2 ended up on a fight on the ground, and the suspect was slamming the trooper's head into the cement.
An Arizona State Trooper is shot in an ambush attack at the scene of a crash. He is alive today thanks to a passing driver.
I'm thankful that I was able to save Ed's life. I'm thankful that he was able to go home to his wife and his children and his grandchildren.
I learned about the 100 Club the hard way. I had 10 years experience in federal government in law enforcement, and my husband was a police officer, firefighter, and paramedic. But despite being that involved in our public safety community, we had never heard of the 100 Club. And until, unfortunately, they showed up at my door. It was just a normal day in our house, and the kids were almost 3 and almost 5, my daughter Addie and my son Justice. And they told me that Bruce had lost his life on the side of Bear Mountain in Sedona during a helicopter rescue. He was struck by the helicopter rotor blade. Well, life obviously changed. He was gone for 24-hour shifts. So we were somewhat used to a small or a short absence, which helped. It helped in the recovery, it helped with the kids. It was about 3 days later when Addie came to me and said, "Well, Mommy, when is Daddy gonna come home?" I remember saying, geez, I really wish that you can pick up a little ADOT work or something, just a little extra help. He looked at me and he said, I would do that, but it would take away from time with my kids. And I'm really glad I never pushed that, because knowing he had so little time left. So, overtime's good, but time with your family is better.
My name is Trooper Eric Tarr. I'm a trooper paramedic now with the Arizona Department of Public Safety. I was assigned to the Yarnell Hill fire a few years ago. I was with the crew when we initially located the scene. I arrived on scene. I was able to confirm, unfortunately, there were 19 fatalities.
So I turned from the top of the ridge and started flying a direct line to that safe house. And we were about halfway down, and Eric says, I got shelters. He got out shut the door. I picked up because I was critically low on fuel. Time allowed Eric to walk up to the area of the shelters, and you know, he said it was very eerie, but he kept hearing voices, and so he had a positive feeling that he could render some good. Well, come to find out, it was portable radios that were still working. While he was there, he went around and he confirmed 19 fatalities.
That's my job. I'm a paramedic. My job is to help people, not recover bodies. You look at Yarnell 19, you look at Bruce. Every time something like this happens, it leaves behind not just them, but a trail of family members, a trail of friends, and it leaves a hole in everybody's heart.
I was very fortunate that day to be able to help and assist and save one of my heroes. And that's how I look at first responders. They're vulnerable, they hurt, they bleed, and unfortunately sometimes they need us to cover their six. And so I'll always be grateful that I had the opportunity to do that.
What an honor it is to be able to show up in someone's time of need and say, hey, I know you don't want this because everybody's so full of pride and you don't need it and you would never ask for it. But that's why we're here. And that's what we love to do. And that's what the community wants us to do. Because we can only do this because the community asks us, hey, we're going to make this donation to you. Do something good with it.